Welcome to the Party Starters podcast with me, Kane Towning.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Hello people and welcome to the Party Starters podcast with me, Kane Towning. Following on from the supply and demand episode, if you haven't listened to that yet, I would highly recommend it. You have your demand, you're ready to supply it, you're going to need a venue. You need to book a venue. So what do? Well, you go and find the biggest venue that you can find, 500 plus capacity, and you pay a ridiculous hire fee because the guy who owns it knows you haven't got a clue what you are doing. You then book 24 DJs to play 6 hours back to back because all these DJs who you think are your friends are going to sell tickets. It gets to the night, no one sold any tickets. You've got a 500 capacity venue with 100 people in it, 50 of which are on the guest list. It looks absolutely dead. Not only that, it sounds horrendous because all these DJs haven't got a fucking clue how to DJ. No one's having a good time apart from you, who's had to get so fucked that you forget just how crap your night actually is. The next day, your photographer sends you the photos, who's managed to make them look half decent because he's used to filming crap events by now. You then write out a huge status telling people how sick your night was, and you might even do it all over again. Please, for the love of God, do not do that. Do not do any of that. Start small. Start small. Start with a venue that you know you can fill, just you as a promoter. Don't rely on DJs to sell your tickets. That is not their job. You are the promoter. It is your job to fill that venue. The job of the DJ is to play good music, not sell tickets. You are the promoter. Book a venue that you know you can fill. It is much better. This is just common sense. It is much better to have 50 people in a 100 capacity venue than 100 people in a 500 capacity venue. A 100 capacity venue half full is going to look pretty decent. You can build from that. 100 people in a 500 capacity venue is going to look absolutely shit. There's no coming back from that. Start small. So let's go back. You need to look for a venue that you know you can fill on your own. You don't even have to fill it. If you look for a 100 capacity venue, and as I say, if you get 50 people in that, it's going to look half decent. You can build from that, and you've got somewhere to grow. You've got somewhere to learn and get the experience. And there are lots of little venues available. There's loads of little bars that will be glad to take your event. And there's lots of good event spaces. This seems to be the new buzz, especially over the last 2 years in Leeds. There's loads of little event spaces popping up. There might be a cafe, coffee shop through the day, and then they go into a creative art space at night. And there are really unique venues where you can do stuff, which again helps create that demand. It's something a little bit different. But these little venues, you can create a real buzz. You can create a good atmosphere in them, and you can learn so much. You don't need 24 DJs. You just need 3-4 solid DJs playing good music. I'll come on to that later, but when you're first looking for the venue, look for just a small, nice size venue that you know you can comfortably fill. If it sells out, brilliant. That's it. Every promoter wants to promote that their event has sold out. So if you sell out, that's great. You're again creating more demand for the next one. And if you manage to sell 3 out or 4 out, then you look for a bigger venue. But let's just keep it to the basics. First and foremost, start small. Get a venue that you know you can fill as a promoter. And you can put some real quality into that night with the music, with the DJs, with how it's run. It is a perfectly run night because you've started small and you can really control it. You might be sat listening thinking, well, Kane, you and Sleeping is Cheating and Tom, you do some of the biggest events in the city. Your events are 1,000 plus capacity, correct? It didn't start like that. My very first event, the first venue I ever booked was a venue called Soul Circus. I did an event with my friend Steve Haley, big Steve Slim Haley, and we used to do a Sunday night at Soul Circus. I'd already been promoting events with Danny and Simo at Atrium and various other bits, so I'd learnt how to put on an event and got all that experience before I even thought about putting on my own event. And when it got to that point, I looked for a venue, and Soul Circus, it is now called Smokestack, if anyone is familiar with that. It is tiny. I think the capacity is about 100 people, but that's across 3 floors. The top floor where the DJ box was, it's literally a corridor. It is a corridor. You could stand at one side, stretch out full and touch the other side. It was absolutely tiny. You needed about 20 people in there, and most weeks that's what we got. But it looked good because it was small. We didn't have to ram it. It was just a manageable size that we could learn, where we could grow, and we didn't have to rely on shitloads of DJs. I mean, it was completely different back then, but just to put things into perspective, that's where I started. It was a tiny corridor, and the stuff I learned from doing that and how to run an event and keep the quality in an event has stayed with me to this day. And let's take a more recent example and show you that I am still learning. I'm still practicing what I preach. I follow these rules. Most recently, we have opened our first venue, Dollhouse. The capacity of Dollhouse is 200. Since I've opened that venue, and when we was building it and launching it, everyone was coming up to me, especially on a Saturday night when it's full, and saying, Kane, why didn't you get a huge club? Why didn't you get 1,000 capacity club? You know you could have filled it. Correct. We knew we could do the numbers, but this is our first venue. Although we've been booking other people's venues for many years and filling them as promoters and as a DJ, I'd never run a venue. This is new. This is new to us, and we have to learn. We have to get the experience. So we have started small, and we are learning every single day. And the stuff we are learning now, the experience we are building, will lead on to bigger venues. We will get bigger venues. We will get more venues, but we have started small. The benefits of starting small is that you can really keep the quality in the night, in the venue. We're not relying on numbers. We don't need hundreds, thousands of people to fill it. We know we can comfortably fill that venue, which we can then concentrate on the quality. And Dollhouse is a perfect example of that. It is quality from the moment you walk in to the moment you leave. We're not booking loads and loads of DJs. We're not selling loads and loads of tickets. We know we can do the numbers, so we can now concentrate on the quality. We've got a good, solid platform of residents. We've got an amazing team of staff. The decor is unbelievable. Every area is just quality because that's what we can concentrate on. We're not concentrating on filling it. And you as a promoter, if you get a small venue and start small, that you know you can do the numbers on, you can then concentrate on the quality. You can look for good DJs, build a solid team of resident DJs, put the quality into the music, which is what will bring people back. Spend time on building a good team of staff, your door staff, getting relationships with them, and just put the quality into the night. You can concentrate on the quality by starting small. So, you've found your perfect sized venue. It is a manageable size that you know you can fill, and you can add some real quality to your event. You now move on to the second part of the advice, which is start small, think big. Think big. And that relates to relationships. The relationships you build within this industry will make or break your success. Because the key to a promoter putting on events is venues. If you've got an event, if you've got a product, you're always going to need a venue to put that event on. So you need to maintain strong and good relationships with venue owners and everyone that comes under that. Bar staff, managers, security, everyone. Maintain a good relationship with all them people, because it is a very, very small industry. Everyone talks, everyone gossips. We love to gossip. If you've had a bad night, believe me, the first people that will find out that you've had a bad night will be other venue owners. We can't wait to pick up the phone the next day and find out how many numbers another club's done. It is gossip central. So maintain good relationships. Keep it professional. Do not burn bridges. However small and insignificant you think that might be early on in your career, do not burn bridges. I've done it. Learn from my mistakes. I've burnt bridges early on and then picked up the phone years down the line even and found out the person on the other end of the phone of the venue that I'm trying to book is someone I've burnt bridges with. And that's it. The deal's finished. I can no longer get access to that venue. Everyone talks. It's all connected. Don't burn your bridges. Build strong relationships with everyone. I'm not saying, go around kissing ass. I've had some very, very heated arguments. In fact, I quite like a good argument. It clears the air, but keep it professional. Keep it professional. Build strong relationships. The relationships we've built over the years with venue owners as what's helped us keep successful, keep putting on events. We've always got access to venues. We can confidently pick up the phone tomorrow and book pretty much any venue in the country because we've got a good reputation and we've got good relationships. So think of the bigger picture always. Everyone you meet in the industry, you might meet later down the line. So think big, think of the bigger picture, build strong relationships. I hope you've enjoyed that one. That is my top tip number 2, my rule number 2. Start small, think big. Welcome to the Party Starters podcast with me, Kane Towning.
I know you're gonna dig this.